And thank you, Ivy. What a good job. Can we give her a hand? That's our young folks. Thank you for that message of courage and triumph as we celebrate the legacy of Dr. King today. Today is extremely empowering as we honor community leaders that have made an impact on the profound legacy of VUU and the Richmond community. We have a full program this morning, but I am in TV news, so we will be efficient. Hashtag goals today. We will now have special greetings, and this is a test for all of those coming to the podium this morning, is to stay in your allotted 2-minute window and to know your order, and this is why. We have greetings in the following order. The statement of occasion by VU's Board of Trustees Chairman, Dr. Franklin Richardson, followed by greetings from Governor-elect of Virginia, the Honorable Abigail Spanberger, Lieutenant Governor-elect of Virginia, Honorable Ghazala Hashmi, Attorney General-elect of Virginia, the Honorable Jay Jones, the United States Senator of Virginia, the Honorable Mark R. Warner, Mayor of City of Richmond, the Honorable Dr. Danny Avula, U.S. Representative for Virginia's 4th Congressional District, the Honorable Jennifer McKellen, and Dr. Bernice E. Travers, Vice President and Board of Chair for Living the Dream Incorporated, and VUU President and CEO, Dr. Hakeem Lucas. Y'all got all that? It would be a test.
Good morning. I'm Franklin Richardson, and I'm the chair of the board of Virginia Union University. I wish that the trustees who are here would please stand. I want them to stand. I want them to stand not for ceremony, but for substance. They have been so tremendous over the last 2 years as we've tried to carve our way to a fresh beginning, as referred to by Ivy. And I want them to know that Virginia Union is indebted, and the city of Richmond, to this wonderful trustee board that leads our university. You may be seated. Let's give them a hand again. I'm delighted to make a brief statement about this occasion. You know, when we gather in these Martin Luther King celebrations, they often live in the tension of the actual and the aspirational, that we are aspiring to be and what we actually are really realizing. So often we come and we create a Martin Luther King that accommodates our expectations and meets our message, instead of looking at the actual and the realities of what we face. So we come here today realizing that Martin Luther King Jr. was, in fact, very, very flowery and rhetorically genius and brilliant as a speaker, but he also was a critical critique of the situation. And we must not come to this occasion simply to celebrate the aspirational, but to be honest and upfront with what we are facing in this moment, to be critical of ourselves and not massage ourselves into some kind of disconnection of reality. The reality is that while Martin Luther King provided perspective and continues to give inspiration, we have in many cases reshaped him to accommodate our agendas. And many of us only show up once a year on behalf of justice and inequality. Let this not be an occasion where we just come and do our tip to justice and fairness and then go back into our various aspects of community life without engaging and challenging ourselves to live up to the best that was Martin Luther King, to live up to his critique, his honest assessment of, and not this made-up Martin Luther King that is often comfortable and pretty and sweet, but we are called to a Martin Luther King who calls us to accountability, to face the reality, and there has never been a time that we are not faced with challenge. But in this hour, we are in great challenge in this country, and dinners and breakfasts like these must leave and provide a spot for us to leave, going challenging the status quo, calling down the systems that oppress the marginalized and the poor and take away the privileges of our people and cause our jobs to be dismissed and cause our political structure to be destroyed. We cannot come to dinners and breakfasts over and over again and applaud Martin Luther King's aspiration without receiving his actual critique.
Good morning. Thank you to Virginia Union University and President Lucas for once again hosting this tremendous event honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm sorry that I can't be with you this morning, but I look forward to seeing so many of you this weekend and in the weeks and months ahead. My administration is ready to get to work, and I look forward to working with all of you. I am so pleased to have the opportunity to take a moment to recognize and introduce Dr. Jeffrey Smith, who is with you today. Earlier this month, I was honored to announce that Dr. Smith will serve as the Commonwealth of Virginia's next Secretary of Education. Dr. Smith brings decades of experience leading school districts across Virginia. He's a proven leader who will champion our students and our parents and our communities. And I am so grateful that he's with you this morning to share how we can work together to expand education and opportunity for all Virginians. As a leader of school districts, as a teacher within classrooms, Dr. Smith's experience is immense, and I look forward to working with him on behalf of all of Virginia's children. I also want to congratulate this year's honorees. Thank you for your commitment to bringing people together across the greater Richmond community. And as you gather to celebrate and reflect on the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and the legacy of civil rights leaders who fought for long overdue change, I hope we carry that same spirit forward in the next 4 years. I look forward, and my administration stands ready to work with all of you. And right now across Virginia, so many of our neighbors are feeling a deep sense of uncertainty. The cost of living is high, rights are under attack, job markets are challenging, and fundamental freedoms and the promise of equality hangs in the balance. As we prepare for the inauguration here in Richmond tomorrow, I feel a sense of urgency, as I know you all do too, about what it is that we will do here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Each year, Martin Luther King Jr. Day calls on us to reflect on how far we've come, but also confront what Dr. King called the fierce urgency of now. As the next governor of Virginia, I look forward to working with all of you to keep our promises to one another, to never back down from standing up for our neighbors and for our communities. And together, I know that we can deliver on the promise of a better Virginia, a Virginia that is more just, more fair, and more free. And with that, I'm again grateful for the opportunity to serve with the future Secretary of Education, Dr. Jeffrey Smith.
Good morning. I thank the leadership of Virginia Union, the Board of Trustees, for bringing us all together again this year to honor the legacy, the life of Dr. Martin Luther King. And we heard an extraordinary message just a few minutes ago from Dr. Richardson, and it is so true, the words that were spoken, that we are meeting here to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his legacy, but importantly, we're also here to reckon with the responsibility that his legacy places upon each of us. As we know too well, our nation is facing strain and anxiety and tremendous uncertainty, economic pressure, racial inequalities, educational gaps, and declining trust in institutions are not abstract issues. They are present in our communities, in our schools, and even within our own families. Dr. King warned us against the tranquilizing drug of gradualism, the belief that justice can wait. For leaders, that warning is direct. Leadership is not measured by good intentions, but rather by decisive action. And Dr. King has reminded us that social justice requires partnership, not distance. Too often, solutions are designed for communities rather than with them. Our call to action is to bring affected voices into the decision-making spaces with real authority, not mere symbolic inclusion. And so we must remember that Dr. King believed that education is a civil right and the foundation of a healthy democracy. As we know, opportunity remains uneven even today, even after generations of effort to resolve the disparities. And as community leaders, our next actions must be to invest in early literacy, mentoring, and meaningful school-to-career pathways. And we are also required by Dr. King to confront economic injustice directly. He understood that freedom without economic security is too fragile. Today, that means supporting living wages, workforce development, small and minority-owned businesses. For us in state and local government, it also means examining our own hiring, our contracting, and our investment policies. The call to action is clear. We must use economic power intentionally. Throughout all of his efforts, Dr. King challenged us to moral courage. He warned us that there comes a time when silence becomes betrayal, and for leaders, silence can look like avoiding controversy, delaying decisions, and choosing comfort over conviction. We cannot continue with that status quo. And so our final call to action is this: we must lead visibly and consistently. We must speak clearly about injustice. We must align our values with budgets and policies. We must measure progress, not just promises, and we have to hold each other accountable. Dr. King's beloved community is not built through speeches alone, but through policies, partnerships, and the daily decisions of our leaders. The arc of the moral universe does not bend on its own. It bends because leaders decide to act. And so the question in front of us is not whether we admire Dr. King's vision. The question is, what actions do we actually take because of it? Thank you.
Well, good morning, and thank you all for having me today. Reba, I'm going to try to keep it short. You've asked an attorney to be brief. I'd like to offer warm congratulations today to the honorees and distinguished guests, including my friend, Secretary-Designee Dr. Smith. Your unwavering commitment to supporting the rich heritage of Virginia Union and Dr. King's legacy, a legacy rooted in faith, courage, and justice. As I prepare for the honor of taking oath to be the first Black Attorney General tomorrow at noon, I know the extraordinary weight that the people of Virginia have placed in us and the trust that they have placed in us. And that's not lost on me or anybody else on the dais. I stand here mindful that this moment did not come accidentally, nor did it come easily. I stand here as a descendant of slaves. My father and my uncle desegregated schools as a part of the civil rights movement. My family has been committed to civil rights for a long time. My grandfather was the first Black school board member in the city of Norfolk, my hometown. Dr. King, as we all know, reminded us that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. But he taught us that it doesn't bend on its own. It bends because ordinary people decide to do extraordinary work. And my vow to you is that I will work every single day to put Virginians first. As many of you in this room know, I draw strength daily from Psalm 91, in particular verses 10 and 11, which confer that divine protection. And it reads that no harm will overtake you, no disaster will come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. I carry that in my pocket with me every single day. And I leaned on it during the most trying times of what was an incredibly hard-fought campaign. They thought that they could write history, but little did they know that God had already written it. Since November, my transition team and I have been hard at work so that we are ready to begin defending Virginians tomorrow at noon. We have assembled an exceptional group of public servants, people of integrity, experience, and deep commitment who are ready to deliver results for this Commonwealth. And these past few weeks have reminded us exactly what we are fighting against and exactly what Virginians elected us to stop: federal overreach that threatens the lives and well-beings of our communities in this Commonwealth. And we know that there are more big fights ahead. So as we embark on this journey together, I make this pledge to each of you. I will never stop fighting for our communities. I will defend the rights of every Virginian. I will protect our jobs, our health care, and our economy from Donald Trump's attacks. I will take on those big corporations that have controlled our politics for far too long and work to lower costs for Virginians. And I will always work to keep our families and our communities safe, because this Commonwealth belongs to the people. Together, we will reject the politics of divisiveness and destruction, and together we will build a brighter future for every single Virginian, molded in that image and dream of Dr. King. Thank you, and God bless every single one of you.
Good morning. First of all, to Dr. Richardson, you should have also asked former trustees of Virginia Union to stand up, of which I am a proud former trustee. And still a fairly major donor. I knew I'd get you. It was 37 years ago I first came to this breakfast. Just to remember Dr. Milner from Martinsville, who often organized it. And Lord knows, we know all of the challenges we face right now. Bobby Scott, Jen McClellan, Tim, Kane, and I, in many ways, it is even worse than you can imagine up on Capitol Hill. But there are moments and things that we should celebrate. Let me cite two. One, because I don't know if you've noticed, because maybe not been acknowledged enough, but we just introduced our new statewide ticket, our new governor-elect, our new lieutenant governor-elect, our new attorney general-elect. Do you know what is unique about this group? There's nobody that looks like me. This is the first time in Virginia's history, and I believe, I'm not sure there is any state in the country that has a group of statewide elected officials where there's no white males. So while the country may be going one direction, we, I think, in Virginia are going another. And an example of that, and I know he's not speaking, but Bobby Scott, Bobby, thank you for all of your leadership. To Jen McClellan, Bobby, Jen, Tim and I, we spent years trying to do something that's symbolic but important. And that was each state gets 2 statues in the capital of the United States. We happened to replace one who was a Virginian who didn't necessarily believe in the United States with a statue that I'm very proud of, because we have a statue when I was governor that we erected of her on Capitol Square. But we now have one of the statues representing Virginia, which is a statue of Barbara Johns, who led the walkout at Moton High School that at the end of the day brought about Brown versus Board of Education. So we continue to make progress in Virginia. And let me close with this. I wasn't sure he was going to make it this early, but only reason I'm here, the only reason that I had an opportunity to be involved in politics was because 38 years ago, I had the opportunity to serve first as Northern Virginia director, and then as campaign manager, and then as transition director of when Virginia made history in the 20th century, when I had the opportunity to work for Doug Wilder. And as any of us in Virginia Democratic politics know, there is no one that brings you more joy and consternation and that still keeps you on your toes at 95 years young than my mentor, my sponsor, the guy that made it possible for me to be Mark Warner, the elected official, Doug Wilder. I've not said this in front of a group like this. Doug, you drive me crazy, but I love you, and thank you for your role model and service to Virginia and our nation. Thank you, everyone.
Well, good morning, friends, and welcome to this great capital city of Richmond, Virginia. It is a joy to welcome you all here this morning. And to be a witness of what is happening in our Commonwealth right now. You know, you heard Senator Warner just talk about it. We have the first woman elected to the highest office of this Commonwealth. We have the first Muslim elected to a statewide office anywhere in the country. And we have the first Black Attorney General here in Virginia. This is the new Virginia, y'all. I mean, it's unbelievable to see what's happening right now. Super grateful to Virginia Union for hosting this year after year. I got to join you all last year, and I shared at length at that point, perhaps a little too long, if Reba Hollingsworth's comments were pointed at me, I'm sorry. But I talked about how Reverend King's beloved community, this vision of the kind of community where people of different races and backgrounds live together in friendship and understanding and in shared humanity. And I talked about how that vision of the beloved community shaped who I am and where I live and how my family chose to move into the east end of the city and how we have pursued community over the last 2 decades and how that has shaped how I've shown up as the public health director of Richmond and later the commissioner of social services and now as mayor of this great city. But Dr. King's concept of this beloved community wasn't just an aspirational vision for a particular time in history. It is a daily admonition for all of us as we join God in his work of healing and redeeming the brokenness of the world around us. I want to lift up the story of an incredible Richmonder that we lost this week, Reverend Sylvester T. Turner. Reverend Turner's life was committed to the pursuit of the beloved community here in Richmond. He was a son of Gilpin Court, the largest public housing community just down the road here in Richmond. He was a veteran of the U.S. Air Force, and he was a pastor who believed that racial reconciliation was the path to healing. And he spent decades building bridges across divides, racial, generational, geographic. He was one of the drivers of the Trail of Enslaved Africans here in the city. He helped create an organization, a movement, an international movement called Hope in the Cities that was devoted to racial healing. And he co-founded, along with proud VUU alum, Delegate Dolores McQuinn. I don't think she's here today, but the two of them worked. Oh, she is? Oh, hi, Delegate McQuinn. Yes. Pastor Turner and Delegate McQuinn co-founded the Shako Legacy Foundation, spent 3 decades praying, working, actively building consciousness in our city. Shako Legacy Foundation is an organization that has been devoted to lifting up Richmond's very complicated history, including that of our city being the birthplace of the domestic slave trade. And the reason they've done this, the reason they've devoted their lives to this was so we could confront the hard truths of our history, and we could move forward together. And that work of the Shako Legacy Project right now is focusing on the redevelopment of an area in Shako Bottom that includes the site of Lumpkin Slave Jail, which is the birthplace of this incredible institution, Virginia Union University. You know, Pastor Turner's life was a testament to the idea that healing begins with honesty and begins with relationship. And so today, as we talk about the beloved community, we stand on Pastor T's shoulders. When I moved into East End 22 years ago, I, as I said, was in search of that beloved community. And my neighborhood then bore the marks of decades of disinvestment, boarded up homes, littered streets, gunshots most every night. But under that veneer of disinvestment was something really beautiful. Neighborhoods who have built family out of hardship, who cared for one another, and who knew each other's stories. And they welcomed us in with open arms. And that spirit of community that we've experienced moving here is one of the things that draws people to this city. But there's a hard truth that even as we celebrate that resilience, we have to confront the systems that were designed to divide us. Richmond was the second city in the country to adopt a zoning code that explicitly barred black families from moving into certain neighborhoods. And thankfully, we removed that language, made some changes over time, but I'll tell you that policymakers just found other, perhaps more palatable ways to keep segregation real in our city. Right? They took out the explicit language, but they did things like restrict most neighborhoods to single-family zoning, which excluded a lot of lower-income families, and it reinforced segregation in our city. And we haven't touched that zoning code since 1976, and it's no wonder that our neighborhoods look like they do today. The code actually limits housing choices, and it's made it harder for people to stay rooted in their communities as costs go up and communities are feeling the pinch of housing costs in our city and across the country. And it's why one of our big priorities this year is to look at that code, to update it, and make it more possible for more housing options to exist in communities and more people of different backgrounds and income levels to actually live in community with one another. It's not just a technical exercise to upgrade the code, it's a moral exercise. Because this is the work that we have to do to unravel policies that have been designed to separate us and to replace them with tools that bring us together. Our work to create a more inclusive Richmond through housing, through policy, through storytelling, through reconciliation, it is how we pursue the beloved community right here and right now. It's the work before us, and it is the work that we will do together. Thank you so much.
Well, good morning. A lot has happened since I gave the keynote last year, where I gave you a history lesson about where we came from and where we were going. And when I left this breakfast, the following Monday on Dr. King Day, we inaugurated a president. And as I sat in the rotunda of the Capitol, and trust me, I didn't want to be there, but as we marched through the Capitol and I walked past the portrait of Shirley Chisholm, I said, all right, she would be here, so I'm going to be here. But as I sat in the rotunda, all I could think about was the same question I talked about here. The same question Dr. King pondered the last year of his life. Where do we go from here? Chaos or community? Well, within hours, chaos was unleashed. And in the past year, hundreds of thousands of federal employees have been fired. And federal employment is how many Black Americans made it to the middle class. An executive order that tried to rewrite birthright citizenship, rewrite the 14th Amendment, that made our ancestors who were enslaved citizens, that tried to erase our history, that tried to erase over 50, frankly, 100 years of history. An administration that is threatening not only to erase our history in schools, but in all of our public institutions. Federal leaders that look like us who were fired. The largest Medicaid and SNAP cuts in American history that impact our communities. The rolling back of all of the progress we made over the past 50 years, the legacy of the civil rights movement. It's tough right now. It's tough right now. In the midst of all this chaos, we have to stay focused on community. Well, how did you do that, Congresswoman McClellan, you might ask? I go back to our history. And this year, when I went back to the Smithsonian African American History Museum, as I stood in the exhibit on the Middle Passage, this time a voice came to me and said, somebody survived that, so that we can be here in this moment, in this fight now. So when you get angry, when you get tired, when you get despondent, do not give up. Stay focused on community. And remember that, yes, we are fighting the same fights as our parents, our grandparents, and our great-grandparents, but we owe it to our children and our grandchildren to keep fighting those fights. We have this year the opportunity to celebrate 250 years of an extraordinary idea, a revolutionary idea, that the power of government derives from the people. And Dr. King and John Lewis and Doug Wilder and Bobby Scott and many more fought to include us in We the People as we build a more perfect union that includes the beloved community. We better fight now like we've never fought before, because if we don't, we will mourn not only Dr. King's dream, but we will mourn the power of government deriving from the people. Stay focused on community. Thank you.
Good morning. And I bring you bright moments from living a dream. I heard when they say keep this short, so I think they were talking about me based on last year. I want to say that, yes, we are here to celebrate the legacy of Dr. King. I also want to celebrate leaders who are here who kept his legacy alive. I want to give warm regards to my longtime friend, Governor Doug Wilder, and I also want to give warm regards to Benjamin Lambert's family. Benjamin Lambert was a great senator who did great things for our community. Moving on, I want to say that before his passing, Dr. King was building what we called the Poor People's Campaign. This campaign was grounded in the belief that quality education, living wages, economic justice, and fair housing were essential for everyone. I am not comfortable when I read in a superintendent's newsletter that 960 students and their families are facing instability, housing instability, and they need help. You should not be comfortable either. I am not comfortable when I read on the federal government's website that 4 years ago, Virginia was the #1 state that had school-to-prison pipeline, and you should not be comfortable either. And I say that as we move forward, that we need to understand that poverty and economic inequalities are not just social issues, they are moral issues, and that we need to strive to correct these inequities. And as we look forward, we must continue advancing Dr. Dream's vision by addressing those very issues: housing, jobs, economics, that he would have championed if he were with us today. Therefore, our mission is not only to celebrate his legacy, but to answer his call. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning again. Who said Richmond wouldn't get up at 6 a.m. to come to a breakfast at 7 and be to work by 9 and work all day on Friday and get up on Saturday and go to an inauguration all weekend? But you did it. Come on, clap for yourself. I also rise, I will have 3 points and I'll go through it in 7 minutes. But I also am signaling that you have 7 minutes to eat before the speaker. So can you hurry up while I talk? You don't want to be caught on camera like with egg dripping on the side of your mouth. You know what I'm saying. Three jobs today, and they are what all CEOs have to do, and do it with honor and privilege and with great gratitude and respect. And that is, the first is the word gratitude. To remind all of you how thankful we are. Clearly those at the front of the room get a closer than usual a seat in the room, simply because there are 114 tables, and the fire inspector said if you want 856 people to come, this is what you need to do. And so we want to welcome the largest crowd that we've ever had at one of these breakfasts, apropos for the time period. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Look, we can't do this without special people and supporters, and of course, all of those that sponsor this event. Clearly, we honor Dominion Energy, and you can clap for them for their long-term partnership from the beginning. EVP Ed Bain, of course, our trustee Darius Johnson is here, but our Dominion partners, can you all stand? I know, can you put it down just for a second, and just stand and let us just honor you for what you have done. Good to see you. Brother Carlos Brown also here, thank you. He always has the best glasses, everybody. You got to say hello to him this morning. Also, we would like to just celebrate, of course, our partners, of course, the city of Richmond, but Henrico County is also a sponsor that has stayed with us for the last 30 years. Henrico, can you stand? And we want to just thank you. The newly elected chair of the supervisors, we thank you so much for being here. Clearly, the legacy of Pastor Cooper and the family, and we appreciate you. The next that has also been with us for 40 years that we have to celebrate in sponsoring this moment is McGuire Woods. And their chair of the board, Attorney Jonathan Harmon is here, for the president, and all of you. Can y'all please stand, McGuire Woods? We appreciate you. Thank you for your partnership and what you have done. Also, we have our friends who clearly, you all know, it's great to have and to live in a city where you have such great bankers. So can you please stand? Wells Fargo, Town Bank, Bank of America, come on, Comcast. We want all of you, Bon Secours, CarMax, come on, y'all stand over there. And of course, New Source Charitable Foundation, please stand. Columbia Gas, can you stand? And we want you just to be recognized. Clearly, Rector Victor Branch, where's Rector Branch of Virginia State University Board? Where are you? Come on, stand, thank you. Our Super VP, Simeon Harris, stand from Town Bank, who makes sure that we always are able to transfer student payments into salaries. Thank you so much. Thank you. There are a number of community partners that have stayed with us and these moments of gratitude. Hurry up, you should be cutting into your turkey sausage now. I'm almost done, hurry up. I'm almost done, you gotta move through this. But we want to thank the Trotman family, the U-Crops, the Robbins Foundation, our First Thursday group at Virginia Union, the Community Foundation of Greater Richmond, the MLK Memorial Commission, Brown and Edwards, Arthur Gallagher, our insurance partners, MediaTek, and Bridge Philanthropic, Virginia Sports Technology Group, CNF Bank, thank you, all of you over there who have come, and Sister Tanya, thank you, and the Richmond Commonwealth Attorney, I know we will hear from you, Attorney McEachin, and of course, we would like to thank KPMG and Fulton Bank also for their giving. Come on, you can clap for them. While we celebrate our corporate partners, we also are appreciative of our faith-based community. You'll hear more about them as we talk through our honorees. But we want to highlight a return to some partners that we are just super, super proud to have here. And that's the First Baptist Church of Richmond. First Baptist Church of Richmond, if you're here, you can say amen, you can wave your hand. And we'd like to thank you. The history, of course, between First Baptist Richmond and, of course, the First African Baptist Church are very important to our history, particularly the roles that they've played and support us over the years. Also, the family of the Tauheimers. Are you here? You can wave your hand, stand. And the Tauheimer family, we just want to wave and just thank you. Our history is often intertwined with sit-ins in the Richmond 34. The Tauheimer family became strong supporters of the university after the sit-in and continue to do today, and we just want to thank you for being here and allowing us to work together toward this beloved community. Are you almost finished with your food? Come on, I'm making a turn. Lastly, as I have to celebrate our educational partners. President Pando, I know you're here. President Abdullah, I know you're here. I also want to celebrate, they tell me, I don't know if they have made it yet, but President and our friends at Bryant and Stratton, are you here? Just wave and let us hear you. There you go. Thank you for coming. Clearly our friends at Hampton University, Norfolk State University, and Virginia University of Lynchburg, we want to thank you all for your support, and to those presidents who labor in this vineyard. Clearly VCU, clearly University of Richmond, clearly all of you who stand with us, we thank you, and we thank you again. Education is more important now than ever. Let me turn outward one more time to our civic leaders. As you know, they have a packed holiday schedule when it comes to MLK. And of course, this is inauguration week. So if you don't mind recognizing them, all the members of the City Council of Richmond who are here, please stand and let us thank you for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All of our delegates that are present, please stand. We thank you. We thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Chair Torian, thank you. Now we have to do this one more time because I see them here. We have the Speaker of the House, Don Scott, here, who spoke for us. Can you please honor him for his presence? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Chair Torian, for also being here. And thank you all for your leadership. Members of the Senate, senators, can you please stand? They told me the newly elected Senator Jones is here. Mike Jones, there you are. That was a 70% VU victory that he had just the other day. You know how that goes. All those that voted for him say amen. Amen. There you go. I told you. They're in the room. Of course, members of school board and any other elected official that is serving in our state or our city, can you please stand and be recognized, and so we can honor you. You've heard about it, you've read about it, you've heard them speak. But will the leaders that are representing us in the United States Congress and Senate once again please stand, including, of course, Congressman McClellan, and of course, our trustee and lead donor, Senator Warner. Please clap for them, and the one and the only, Congressman Bobby Scott. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we're rounding it up. You're not doing too good on those plates, I see it. All right, you should be cutting that tomato into that and putting it with that egg real quick. Come on. All right. Ultimately, our gratitude always turns to those who have dedicated their labor to this work. The trustees are here. Every trustee has supported with a table. And do you mind just clapping for the trustees of the board for Virginia Union University one more time? Clearly, we are thankful to the faculty, to the staff, to the administrators. Virginia Union, can y'all please stand and just let yourselves be seen and known? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Of course, this labor cannot work if there's not continuity in the leadership roles that we have. And of course, we have to acknowledge President Claude G. Perkins and First Lady Perkins, the 12th President of Virginia Union University is here. Please stand, if you don't mind, and wave. Thank you, thank you, thank you, President Perkins, First Lady Perkins. And our president, one of our president emeritus, S. Dallas Simmons. First Lady Simmons is here. I think table 103. First Lady Simmons, can you stand and wave? We love you. Thank you. Everything we do for our students. And some of them are ambassadors. They've been walking around and they've been seated at your tables and they've been sharing with you. They are working the event. You see them on behind the cameras. They are making sure that from sight to sound that this event goes well. Students, can you please stand, wave, say amen. Let us celebrate you, the very reason that we do this. Thank you, 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 thank you. All right, you should be finishing up now. I told you, this is that, this is that little break. We promised to get you out by 8:30 and we're doing okay on time, aren't we? My first word was gratitude. Gratitude and appreciation always takes time. I can never apologize for telling you that I appreciate you for your money, for your time. You got up at 4 a.m. this morning to come to this breakfast, and I am thankful. Not only did you get up at 4, some got up at 3 a.m., but you look and smell good. Some of you, your hair pieces could have gone in a whole nother way, but it did not. And I appreciate you. First word is gratitude. We need more of it. To say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because you did not have to do this. The second word that I want to give you is the word called remembrance. Now look, too many times we forget on purpose. However, I'll do it in a 21st century alpha, generation type of way. And I need you to be uncomfortable for one moment. All right, get ready. Everybody, pull out your mirrors first and look at yourself. Come on, get yourself together. And I need you to pull out your phone. And for just 30 seconds, can you take a picture of your table or this room? Like, look, this moment will never happen again. Remember it. The problem of this generation in this world today is that we forget. We forget how far we have come. We forget the moments when we create the beloved community. And we must remember. Remember where you have come from. Remember who you sat by. Remember the boss that invited you to a meeting. The next time you say that they don't love me, they don't care about me, we allowed you to come to a breakfast. We brought you out of the building. All I do is go to work. I don't get to see the people. You're here today. Remember, remember, remember. Now, to remember and to keep that in your own phone, as Grandmama said, the devil is a liar. Share that post now. Share it. We walk for justice and we post for justice. Share it, share it, share it. Let the world see that you care about living the Martin Luther King dream. All right, everybody, take a picture of me real quick. Oh. For young people today, it is very important for you to understand what community really means. Sometimes community is the opportunity to be in your presence, but oftentimes opportunity is simply the gathering the post, the share, the like, the thumbs up, just to encourage me that I'm not crazy. I'm okay. That what I'm doing and how I'm living may not be everything that you may see or want, but man, is worthy of your validation. Remember, as you walk around, as you network, as you meet, look at a young person today. And if the Lord speaks to you, you'll know it by the sign of send them a Cash App. Young people in the room say amen. There's nothing better. Now, you call it scholarship. We just call it just love. The worst thing you can do is ask a person today if they need help. If you remember, you know what it was like to have nothing. Why should they have to ask you for help? You know what it looks like when somebody's struggling. Remember how far you have come. And remove the mental strain of having to beg people to get to where they are. Thirdly, I leave you with a challenge. Clearly, you can't be presidential and not quote Dr. King and say some scholarly things to remember. Now, I'm reminding you that my job is to make sure you get to your food so the speaker doesn't hear any clinking. Some of you need to do a little bit better. Come on and finish. But the last, and Congresswoman McClellan said it, the respect for time. Our lieutenant governor-elect talked about urgency and the necessity of it. And if you don't mind, look, I know you're at a breakfast, I know it's the morning, but we're still a higher education institution, and can you learn something real quick? Pull out that phone again and just go to your calculator. I know some of you won't do it, but those who do it, you'll be blessed. Pull out your calculator. We're going to add what's in your bank account. No, it's not. No, we're not. I promise. Just pull out your calculator and do this math for me. This is the last message as you clean your plate and you hear from the Virginia Union University grad and the first to serve as Secretary of Education for the Commonwealth of Virginia, our pastor, Pastor Smith. So proud to have said that. But I want to give you something to shape and to leave from a higher education institution, the oldest, the first historically black college and university in the Commonwealth. I want to leave you with this, a respect for our time. One, put in this, calculate this for me. They say that we came as enslaved in 1619. They say that upon an Emancipation Proclamation in April of 64 that we were free. Somebody calculate 1865 minus 1619 and scream out what you get on your screen. 246? Now somebody take 20, 26, well, 18, so to do this first. Take 1865 and add 246. What do you get? Scream out real loud. In 2001 and 11. Okay, so now take 2026, right, and minus 2111 from 2026. What do you get? 85. Okay, so let's put it all together. Are you ready? It's just an African-American history class, just for 5 seconds. It's early in the morning. We have time. Hurry up. Drink something. Clean your mouth out. You still got egg on your breath. Stop it. You can't say hello to the person next to you without getting yourself together. And listen to what I'm about to say. We were enslaved for 246 years. By the year 2111, we would have been free, equal to the time that we were enslaved. From this moment forward, we have 85 years to make sure that our freedom outperforms our enslavement. What will you do with the time? Thank you, and God bless.
Remember me? Yeah. Dr. Lucas, thank you so much. Dr. Travers, and thank you to our elected officials for speaking and sharing your time and your powerful words. I have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker. Dr. Jeffrey O. Smith, Secretary of Education Designate, is an educator who has more than 32 years of service in public school education. He spent 15 years as a superintendent, 8 years as superintendent at Hampton City Schools, and 7 years in the town of West Point. Under his leadership, Hampton City Schools reached historic milestones. For the first time, all 29 schools earned full accreditation without conditions. Graduation rates rose from 88% to nearly 98%, and dropout rates declined from 5.1% to less than 1%. Currently, Dr. Smith is the Executive Director and CEO of the Virginia Air and Space Science Center in Hampton, Virginia. Additionally, he continues his over 40 years of pastoral leadership while serving congregations in Richmond. Dr. Smith's leadership has been honored at local, state, and national levels. He has been named Superintendent of the Year. Dr. Smith is married to an educator, Dr. Lorraine Smith, and they are proud parents of 2 children. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Dr. Jeffrey O. Smith.
Let me begin by saying to President Lucas and Chairman of the Board of Trustees, local and state and federal elected officials, members of the governor-elect Spanberger's administration. I know that there are other cabinet members who are present. Would you kindly stand so that you can be recognized as well? Faculty and staff and community and business leaders, students and friends, members of Garland Avenue Baptist Church, and last but certainly not least, my beloved wife of 35 years this year, Dr. Lori Ann Smith. Good morning. I bring you greetings on behalf of our Governor-elect Spanberger. It is truly an honor and a profound privilege to stand before you this morning. I'm before you this morning wearing several hats, but most importantly, I'm present this morning in gratitude for this moment, for this institution, and for the sacred gathering of purpose and promise. Today, as we gather, I'm reminded of what my grandmother used to say, for such a time as this. These words aren't new, they're ancient, spiritual, prophetic. They remind us this morning and in this moment that history itself calls upon us to do something. The question is never whether time will come. The question is whether someone will answer with commitment, passion, and to go forth and to make a difference. Virginia Union University has been answering the call for such a time as this since 1865. And as I stand here today, I stand as a living testimony that Virginia Union University answered the call for such a time as this. For a young teenager who really grew up in a small town in the northern neck part of Virginia, a little place called Oak Grove, Virginia. A place where dreams were real, but pathways were limited. A place where hope was present, but direction was still forming. Virginia Union University saw something in me and nurtured that. It further shaped my vision, sharpened my conviction, and awakened my purpose in a greater way. It is what this institution has always done, Mr. President. It does not simply educate, it calls. it forms, and it sends people into the world prepared for the moment that God has placed before them. I stand before you this morning to say thank you. And in this same way, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. answered the call for such a time as this. Dr. King did not choose the safety of silence when the moment demanded sacrifice. He did not confuse comfort with that of the calling. He understood that history had placed a responsibility on his life, and he accepted that responsibility. And so it is. We're called on this day and in this moment to do more than, as the chair has said, more than to admire the dream, but rather it calls us forward. It calls us into action, and it calls us into places of responsibility for such a time as this. The late Dr. Gardner C. Taylor once reminded us we are not only responsible for what we do, but he said this, but we're also responsible for what we fail to do. Dr. King's I Have a Dream still calls upon us. I've learned that delay is not wisdom. In moments like these, faithfulness demands of us movement. Our governor-elect, Abigail Spanberger, has answered the call to serve the Commonwealth of Virginia for such a time as this. Leadership matters in moments like these. A commitment to the common good matters, and when the moment is critical, the right leader must step forward, grounded in service and guided by purpose to help to lead the people forward to create a better future for all of Virginians. Dr. King once reminded us that the time is always right to do what is right. And friends, this is the time. We're not self-made people. And at our best, we are family-made, community-made, sacrifice-made, and we are prayer-made. The scripture reminds us, and you would know that you would not have a minister here without some scripture this morning. The governor-elect clearly understands that we're going to have at least one moment of scripture. The scripture reminds us that we are God's workmanship, created for good works. We're not accidents of history. We are assignments. There are people in this room who stood on the front lines of civil rights in terms of its movement, and many of us are the beneficiaries of their struggles, that we ourselves now can move to places and do things that they only dreamed about and they fought for. And yet, even now, there are forces seeking to rewrite history, erase truth, and to diminish the hard-won progress. This is why I stand here today to declare that this is the time. Now is the time for such a time as this. Howard Thurman, who helped to shape the theology of Dr. King, once said, "We do not ask what the world needs, but ask what makes you come alive." And so on this day, we're challenged to come alive and to go forth and to continue to do great things. I'm reminded that our governor-elect. She says to us that we must go forth and make a difference in the world, in our communities. And let us realize that, as Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. If this were Sunday morning, if this were Sunday morning, if this were Sunday morning, and the governor was sitting in the congregation, if this were Sunday morning, I would remind Garland Avenue and the Friends that David answered the call when Goliath was there. I would remind the congregation that Moses answered the call when he led the children of Israel. I would remind them that simply Mary answered the call. She answered the call, and she carried who would become and who became the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And he answered the call for such a time as this. Aren't we glad about the fact that he answered the call? So much so that on Friday, they hung him high and they stretched him wide. But early, just a few days later, he got up with all power in his hand. Aren't you glad about it? Aren't you glad about it? And because he got up, we can go forth and say he walks with us, and he talks with us, and he tells us we are his own, and the joy that we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. And we are challenged with, if I can help somebody as I pass along this way, then my living shall not be in vain. If I can cheer someone, if I can educate someone, if I can lift someone, if we can work with the governor-elect, if we can lift up our communities, if we can go to the schoolhouses, if we can go to the jailhouses and help somebody as we travel along this way, then our living shall not be in vain. Dear Union, we still love thee for such a time as this.
Yes. Dr. Smith, thank you for the dynamic message. Thank you for the charge and for having church on a Friday. Yes, thank you. It is now my privilege to present the A. Donald McEachin Award, recognizing a leader who continues to embody the character and vision of the late Congressman McEachin's legacy of service and dedication to our community. This year's award goes to the esteemed VUU alumnus class of 1990 from the Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology and Virginia's new Secretary of Education designate, Dr. Jeffrey O. Smith. Now we turn our attention to honoring the recipients of the Community Leaders Award. We have 18 honorees. Don't be scared, we're going to get through it. All of them have been active All of them have been active in some way in civil rights and social justice. These individuals, families, and organizations have demonstrated an unwavering commitment to service, civil rights, and the values that Dr. King championed. In a moment, we will turn our attention to the screens for a video montage recognizing all of our honorees. Now, during the video presentation, please have a designee from your organization make their way to the platform to receive their award and take a group photo with President Lucas and Chairman Dr. Richardson. Now, at the end of the program, please feel free to return to the platform you see over there so we can take a group picture.
The 2026 honorees include Baptist General Convention of Virginia, Baptist Ministers Conference of Richmond and vicinity, Better Housing Coalition, Family of Henry L. Marsh III, Family of Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin Joseph Lambert, Jr., Family of William B. Thalheimer, Jr., First African Baptist Church, First Baptist Church of Richmond, Governor L. Douglas Wilder, Living the Dream, Inc., NAACP Virginia State Conference and NAACP Richmond Chapter. National Urban League, Richmond Chapter. Richmond Crusade for Voters. Richmond Free Press. The Richmond 34. Upsilon Omega Chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Virginia Legislative Black Caucus. These honorees collectively represent generations of leadership rooted in faith, advocacy, civic engagement, and community empowerment, reflecting Dr. King's enduring vision of justice and equality in action.